My cup is done. I think it's not too bad.
From afar.
Got skinnier, you got fatter, or like you're eating a lot, or you're not eating enough. And so in those cases, what would you say?
I think for me personally, I will just let them know, like, hey.
I would probably say like, oh, I probably, especially if it's coming from family, like I understand that it's coming from a place of love, but
since it's almost Christmas, we'll be making some Christmas drinks.
And while we do that, we'll talk a bit about Christmas gatherings or holiday gatherings and how to deal with certain relatives.
In certain situations. Which Christmas drink are you gonna be making today?
I'm gonna be making a peppermint hot chocolate with some whipped cream. What are you making?
I am doing a sort of vegan eggnog.
Yeah. We'll tell you why it's sort of vegan.
But yeah, let's just get into it and we'll chat.
We already pre-melted some of the chocolate chips, so for me, I'm gonna drizzle it along the side of my cup.
Yeah, and this recipe, you don't really need a stove top. We just literally heated everything up in the microwave. We also heated up some of our milk, or not milk. So I'm just gonna pour it into my cup here. Try not to spill. And we will put the recipes down below. So growing up, did you usually celebrate Christmas?
We gathered. I wouldn't say we celebrated Christmas or like the holiday seasons or any holidays for that matter, except for Chinese New Year's. Yeah, what about you?
I think we were the same as well. We pretty much just gathered around holidays and had dinner.
Would you have like a turkey dinner, or would you have just like an Asian dinner?
Sometimes we had turkey.
Okay.
But you know, it's not really a big thing if we didn't have it either.
I think my family specifically was more of like roast or chickens or like fish, stuff like that, if we were eating at home. Or like we would go to like an Asian dinner place and it would already be like a set menu, because like holidays they have those like specials and we would just have that. My cup is done. I think it's not too bad.
From afar.
Wow, shade.
So I'm sprinkling some of this coconut milk powder because we couldn't find the condensed coconut milk. And to our very surprise, unfortunately it has sodium caseinate, which is a milk protein.
So that's the sort of vegan part of it. Technically, we were looking for the coconut condensed milk.
To kind of make that more thick consistency, which you would usually see in eggnogs. Or should a frother.
Yeah. Me too. Is yours lumping?
Yeah.
Okay, well. Trial and error, so you don't have to fill out that error part. When you went to these like Christmas gatherings as a child, would you be like happy, anxious, nervous, any emotions attached to those days?
I think more so slightly anxious.
Oh, okay.
How about you?
I think I would be fine leading up to those days, but then when those quote unquote comments come out, then I'd be like nervous, anxious, and like try to hide.
And which comments in specifics?
Like weight related comments, like, oh, you got skinnier, you got fatter, or like, you're eating a lot, or you're not eating enough, or like you haven't had any like vegetables or protein, stuff like that, specifically relating to food. I think as an Asian family, that's their way of showing that they're caring and loving. And yeah, now we know that probably that's not the best comment to give out, but I think back in the day, that's their way of starting some small talk.
Yeah. And I think because we've grown up in kind of the Western world where, you know, gaining weight is often associated negatively.
I've learned in the recent years that the way that someone says something might not land the same way the receiver hears it quite often.
I think it's also a very teachable moment as well, and just letting the person know, because sometimes they don't know that they're hurting our feelings, because that's just their way of, you know, making small talk. Or
And so in those cases, what would you say?
I think for me personally, I will just let them know, like, hey, yeah, like maybe my weight is not the same as maybe when you saw me last year, but I am comfortable in my body and I'm happy the way I am, and you know, the way that you're saying these things to me, I don't really appreciate it, or it kind of affects me negatively, and I would appreciate it if you know, moving forward, didn't say or didn't comment on my body.
I would probably say like, oh, I probably, especially if it's coming from family, like I understand that it's coming from a place of love, but I would appreciate if you didn't comment on my weight, height, status, whatever. And from like now on, maybe we could talk about something else, like we have mutual in common.
Exactly. And, you know, we can totally understand, you know, there's different family dynamics, and some of these things might, you know, really be harder to bring up. And so you can send this video to your others.
We did a little skit in Chinese New Year's times, and you can send them that video. Just as a joke, poke fun at it. And our last step for both of our drinks is some coconut whipped cream.
A lot of coconut going on in my drink.
I wonder if it would taste not very eggnoggy with all of this coconut. Can I be a barista?
Wow, it's pretty
I know, it looks pretty good. Okay, holiday drinks. Cheers.
It's definitely got elements of the eggnog, but definitely not the real thing.
Mine, the peppermint is definitely there with the chocolate chips, but it doesn't have enough chocolatey flavor in it.
She asked for a lot of things. So I think if the milk was to be hotter, it could actually help melt the chocolate a bit more too.
I hear a little sass in that because she told me to microwave it longer, and I said, it's okay. And with that, we'll be back next time. Cheers.